Okie schmoky, I just played on my own and then I saw we got the 3-star perk, so how about we go for the bow or the elven spear, though that one is a little bit more complicated, but I wanted to show that strategy, so let's do it. We already have the crit, perfect, let's go. So the way the perk works is, when you have two 2-star items, they will just combine into a 3-star, but this only works on day 7 onwards. So the strategy with it is, you just buy as many of these as you can, and on day 7, you have a frozen bow in the shop, because if you get 2 purples, like 2 2-stars, on your before day 7, sorry, I'm a little bit like, you know, before day 7, and then it turns day 7, so they should combine, right? They won't. You have to buy another one to trigger it, and that's why you just wanna freeze it, and up until then you can just level up, do whatever. But you also want to have crit, because you'll see it later. There is actually a reason to not take this, but I'll take it, because this could be money, and money is very important for this. In fact, it's so important, I will freeze this. So that is my main experience, the advice that I can give to you if you want to do this easily, consistently, every single time pretty much. I haven't lost a single time with this so far. Except with the spear, I lost once, because it needs more time to get going. But only once out of like many times. But yeah, you want money, because this guarantees that you can roll a lot. We go for the income, because that's 10 gold every day, and if you just listened, I just said, well, you want to have a lot of money. So there's money. Bow. One more bow would be perfect. There's the elven spear. Now, because we expect to get more money, right, plus 15 possibly at maximum, I will also roll more just to make sure that we see as much as possible. The worst thing that can happen to you is that you say, ooh, I'm not gonna roll, because like I'll just keep it for the next day, right, and then you roll there, and you get into the increase of roll cost. That is horrible. Okay, only 12 gold, but that is still 12 gold. Value potion doesn't actually do that much. Weapon buff is interesting, but I'll go for the value potion. Like I said, it doesn't do that much, but look at this. We just gained 18 gold plus 15 every single day, potentially. But if we don't find the bows very soon, we have a problem. The crit is already so high that I'm fine. Let's look for a purple highlight. Okay, this is like the unluckiest I've ever been, but this is also good, because then we get to see how it turns out. Give elven damage, we don't care, this is just the most, so we'll take it. And we have to look out for the bow again, like you have to pay attention, because it will not be highlighted. There it is. I would say we'll take it, because we scale crit on this as well now, perfect. Okay, this is a short fight, but they need some time to build up the burn, so I think we'll get 12 gold here. And one more? Oh, perfect. But yeah, you may notice, usually you tend to lose. If you're lucky, you win the first 2 days and then you're really fine. But usually you tend to lose. The goblet is also good. 2 days of scaling means it's plus 30 gold. That is just beautiful. And if we find the other 2 now... Oh... That is a difficult decision, because we could do that, but we are so late. Like, if this was early, like, let's say we get the triple on day 2, day 3, I would put it in. But right now it's so late, we'll just get one shot, get no benefit, and I have to remove a gold dagger or a bow, which I use for crit scaling, right? So I don't like that. The hook, by the way, way too unreliable, because the fights are short, so I don't care. Okay. So we have a bunch of money ready for day 7, and we also want to level up kind of before that. But do you notice? The fight is way too short. So this was roughly 15 seconds, because they triggered 5 times, like they were about to trigger the 5th time. Meaning we wouldn't have gotten the +1, because it takes 16 seconds, so that was close. This is an interesting one, because if we go for cooldown, we permanently make the bow faster, and that is insanely beneficial. However, we also want to save as much money as possible, and the one that I like the most is actually this one. 15 gold instantly, remove the cost of rolling, and it could happen we don't find the bow for a very long time. And this one I would never recommend taking. Yes, you could get another one out of the chest, but these ones, they give you plus 10 gold on the first trigger, right, when they attack. Like 2 of them plus 10 gold. This is only plus 8. Then it's plus 7, where they are plus 8, so it's still better. Then it's plus 6, where they are also plus 6, and then you are usually dead, if you even get to that point. The point is, you lose money. We are there. We did it. So we will just level up. We can level up with this, but there's not really a reason. And the reason is, we get plus 5 gold, right? And we have a bit more HP. Realistically speaking, we don't win though, because we have no strength, so why not wait for the plus 30 gold? Makes a lot more sense. Okay, I think we would have actually won this if I leveled up. But you don't expect such a weak fight this early. We may actually still win this. Yep. Insane. And there it is. The day 7 regular goat. And the way it works is, the crit is done, we can sell that. If this is the only item that you have, then it will give itself... Okay, why did I just click on that? It will give itself 20 damage and 3 multicast, which is actually 40 damage times 3. So 120 damage whenever it does its stuff. And what I like to do now is the following, to make sure we win. You know, we saved up a huge amount of money. Bam, bam, bam. Bam. That is sadly not enough. We're just missing a tiny bit. My internet just gave up. This usually happens at night for some reason. I don't know why. But this is an easy win. Watch this. And this is important because we got a lucky win, right? If we wouldn't have gotten the last win, right now we would be on the 2 death lives. So if we lose here, the game is over. And this was kind of close. But that is why I prepared money that I can sell. Also in case we don't find the bow. But I would say this on day 7 is a relatively strong build. So there is a chance that you lose the entire thing though. But it's like it never happened to me so far. Now what do we do after we are done with this? First of all, I level up until I have 20k HP. Because after 20k you get a lot less out of leveling up. Then on day 11 we'll get plus 5k HP at full value. Okay, that's funny. So the copy item is very good, because I want to put one more item in and upgrading that is insane. But there's, like, we have no guarantee to find it, so I will go for the tower slots, because some of these are insane. There's the dark one that re-triggers your start of combat effect. Okay, we didn't get any good ones, plus 1 multicast doesn't matter. Burn is kind of fine, damage is also not bad, but we have enough. Plus 20 damage, I think I'll go for the burn. Yeah. So we level up yet again. And we want to do this before we hit day 11, but do you see that? That is ridiculous, right? And there we go, we are done. So the reason why I want to do this before day 11, if we know, let's say, to make it simple to understand, let's say on, like, 20,000 is your maximum HP in the game, you can't go beyond that. But day 11 encounter can go beyond it. Then your goal would be you get to 20k HP before you reach day 11, so you have a maximum of 25k. But the same thing happens here, except it's not as extreme, because instead of having a cap at 20k, it just means when you level up now, we get like 2000 HP, that is nothing. You know, does it make sense? Good. We are looking for a legendary item here, that is fine. All items are on sale, this will get bonus money. But we are looking for the legendary frost item. And even here the reroll reduction is quite helpful. Sure. It's not really needed to buy them anymore, because now we are just delaying a power spike, but we won't put it in anytime soon either way, so it's not a big deal. I pretty much only put it in for the final day. Or if I lose, then I put it in. Because once we put that in, yes, we don't get the scaling anymore. And if we had the 0.5 second cooldown that I could have went for here, like let's say this option wasn't there, it would only need 25 multicast to be permanent. Another bonus is you attack earlier. But here's the HP. I prefer the lucky rolls, by the way, but you can also just go for the plus 15 damage. That is 30 damage. I just like this because you can get insane things here, like that, for example. You know why it's insane? Because we're looking for legendary. And it also gives us money. Okay, we didn't find it. I'll get these two. That is bonus experience for free. I'll take it, but we don't care. They sell for 0, by the way. I always get the question, Dex, why don't you just buy them and sell them for profit? Well, they are half of their value, right? If the value is 0, that doesn't really work. Okay, we have been really unlucky. I don't like this, because there are builds that burst you. Only legendaries, but not the one that I need. Okay. Seriously? Okay, that is really unlucky, holy moly. And yeah, I only bought the bow because it's an easy triple for another legendary. Do I even care about the burn? I mean, plus 20 damage is not really that great. The burn stacks up, you know, for a build that has a lot of HP. So that's why I want the burn. The issue is it's just one burn. So, do we really care? The heal is insane. Maybe I want to go for that instead. That is 150 HP healed per second. That is actually nothing. You know, it doesn't do anything. That could be bleed. That is bleed. It's a little bit of bonus damage. Again, just for the long fights. The short fights, they're either way not a concern in our mind. I will actually take the money over that. These have random items, but I don't think they can have candy. This can have some interesting things, but it's just too gambly. And most of these you have to put in. Oh, wow, but I've never been this unlucky. Usually I get it to 1 star, rarely to 2 stars. Well, because you have noticed I've rolled a lot, right? So you find it easily, but I haven't found it a single time. That is insane. Well, bows versus bows, who wins? Note, by the way, they won. Note, by the way, it is better for you to have your ranged weapon up front, because that means they land on the enemy just a tiny bit earlier. In this case, though, it wouldn't have dealt us damage. You know, like, it wouldn't have won us the fight. However, then again, we also have burn here, which is now quite a bit. Like, plus 3 burn is insane. Yeah, we'll stay with the burn. Where's the crit item? Am I stupid? Did I see it and just skipped it? I've never went this long without seeing legendaries. They have a 20% chance to appear. This is actually mind-blowing. That is a good chunk of HP, but not worth the money in my opinion. One thing you can do, by the way, is you pick up... Unbelievable. You pick up the potion belt, right? Because any potion that you get on this, even if it's just heal or so, is quite good. But 50% bonus damage is a lot better. If you find it. This is insane. I just spent all of my money on that. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. That is insane. I can't even triple it. I'll level up, but pay attention to the HP. Usually it's like plus 30% or something like this. I think they actually changed it again. Does it say that somewhere? Only increased HP, but pay attention to it. That was less than 2000. Let's see if we get a lucky shop. There could be something with like 2 free items of this. Interesting. Okay. Well, you don't want to do it today, it's fine. I could do this for another triple. I feel like I did the smartest thing I could have done, but there's just nothing. Yeah. So we still put this in, because if we trigger the bow, it's plus 20 damage, which percentage-wise is like plus less than, let's say 9% damage, right? And we are permanent, almost. So it doesn't really make a difference, but this is 50% bonus damage. And this was the unluckiest one I've ever had. Like, it's actually ridiculous how long it took to find this item, and I think anyone would agree. Also, the start was very unlucky, if I recall it right, that we had to look for the bow for so long. But with the right money management, you just have so much money as long as you don't upgrade. Like, you are not allowed to level up, because then the odds for commons go down. Okay, very important. I just wanted to mention that because some people see that and then they do something like leveling up because it didn't state, hey, don't level up. And then they're like, Dex, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? The strategy is so stupid. And then I say, yeah, well, you leveled up. And they're like, well, you didn't say you shouldn't level up. But why do you do things that I didn't say you should do? Like, I didn't mention them. I don't do them, so why do you do them? Right? It's like, huh? But that was it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe. See you the next time.